I asked everyone who worked for me to send me their long-term survival worlds, and today I'll be looking around to see how they play Minecraft. I'll be using this to see how good they are at their job, and so it's going to be very good for whoever wins, we could say. But for some background, I started this channel in 2009, and for the first 10 years it was almost exclusively me doing every single part of the process, but over the last 5 years I've had more people assist here and there, editors, stream mods, and even the IBX Toymaps people, and so I asked everyone if they had a long-term world, and here's what I got in return. Okay, 7 different worlds for 7 different employees, and we're going to start with Dasha, who you might know as a very recent stream mod. She's been around forever, but recently decided to help moderating, and has had a Java world that's existed for 9,600 days, but when she converted it to Bedrock, it lost a couple thousand. I don't know how any of that works, but I do know that this is an incredible world the moment you look around, but I think we should start with something we'll see down there on the ground. The Mega Beacon at spawn is a classic, but have you ever seen a Skulk Beacon? The Sniffer Art Home is a beautiful piece of modern art. As is this house, which I assume they didn't want creepers blowing up, and so kept very, very safe. And this end portal, which is absolutely beautiful. The world is more than just quirky though, because you can see by looking around the scale in some of the things here. So first of all, there's a giant castle in the background. I'll have to take a peek at that later, but there's also an end ship in the sky, and indeed the Minecraft logo. There is so much that your eye is drawn to, but what I love about it is well pathwayed around, so if you want to just kind of explore at your own pace in survival, it looks like it's easy enough to do that. What I think is crazy about this world is you'll see custom biomes like this, or indeed you'll see the kind of classic semi-finished Minecraft structure like this. This looks an awful lot like my Let's Play house, and then if you look into the sky you'll see like, oh yeah, what is this? Oh, just another mega project hanging out on the docks here, or look over here and what is that? That's a real Minecraft build. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that goes in YouTube thumbnails. Wait, actually, one second. Okay, better timing. Here we go. Thumbnail shot. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a thumbnail right there. Yeah, I love this world because it has this beauty of giant structures in the distance while having absolutely ridiculous things in the foreground, like this redstone desert well. I love that Dasha has done basically what I did in my world, but so much better organized. It's really, really, really nice if you ask me. A jack-o'-lantern biome. A jack-o'-lantern biome is the sort of insanity I absolutely love to see in a Minecraft world, but it gets even better than that because you can see what I assume can only be a prismarine mushroom biome is just to its right. What an incredible space this is. Wait. This was not what I was expecting to see on the way, but they made a desert well out of desert wells. Very fun, Dasha. But also here is what looks to be a copy of the Let's Play house, complete with the toy cat burner directly on top of it. Now the real question is what happens when you go into the basement? Oh my god, the beacon netherite. Wow, that is something, huh? Yeah, I've seen a lot of recreations of my house before, and this one is very, very impressive. I am actually amazed that this works as well as it does, but it does. Nice. Okay, that is extra points for Dasha right there. A birch pillager outpost looks surprisingly good, and so does this wonderfully whimsical forest. Very, very cool. This is one of those worlds where I feel like every time I go in a new direction, I find something odd and weird. Why does this exist? I want to know the answers. I'm sure there's some very exciting explanation, but I won't find out what it is. I've got just a few minutes left, and I feel like one of the things I need to make sure I check out is the Nether, and maybe even the end. I've got to resist the urge to be distracted by the Minecraft logo, and instead go right through what looks to be one of the coolest Nether portals I've ever seen. So let's go, let's ignore the end portal, and go straight into the Nether one. Oh, is it Cauldron Steps? Intriguing. Oh, it really does spawn you directly on the Nether roof. Thank God there's a ladder out here. So this is an incredibly unique Nether. I love the use of glass panes. It feels like you shouldn't use glass Nether, but you totally can. And also the fact that every single block has been slabbed to neutralize the threat as best they can. I honestly think this is a really, really smart thing to do. And so, it's something I always consider in my own world. It's cool to see it in another one to realize that, yeah, I totally could have done this. I'm going to look around briefly for an end portal, but it looks like a slightly confusingly laid out Nether. I think everyone gets stuck in this problem of like, what do you do with the Nether? And the answer is, I don't know. at some point. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I am 100% lost. I was hoping to get some glimpse of the end before I was done here, but instead I've just seen that this is a very well slabbed up fortress, which makes me think they probably have a wither skeleton farm. If, you know, if somehow the beacon netherite was not proof of that, I think that this might just be. It's very, very cool to see this place slabbed up, by the way. Makes you wish that you could do it with nether brick slabs, because you probably wouldn't even notice how weird it was. Yeah, gotta say, overall, super fascinating world in so many respects. Just real bad luck to start a long-term survival world and have a basalt delta be your nearest biome, but it looks like they somehow managed to make the most of it. Dasha has done an incredible job, at least at first glance, but we'll come back to the actual rankings later. For now, whoa. That's incredible. By direct contrast to the huge open swaths of space we just saw, this is KMB's world, where as you can see, everything he needs is all in one place. From spore blossoms to the ender dragon to a the successful killing of every single major mob, you can see that everything you need or could ever want is found right here, including enchanted books of all of the crazy enchantments on. That's actually a really cool idea. And indeed a chest which has, oh, all of his rare stuff. I really love the compactness of this, but I'm curious as to what is downstairs. Oh, is it just a mine? Is this actually the world's most compact Minecraft world? Let's go outside and look. Oh my god. This is genuinely the most contrasting world I've ever seen with the previous one. But let's see what's interesting and going on around it, because I love the way that this is a village that has been turned into a very functional place with a nether portal and a mine. So let's go into that portal. Oh, that's very well hidden. And the mine, which I don't need to go into. But you see, it's well done over there. An incredibly functional village that still somehow manages to have charm. Well, this perfectly matches what I know about KMB. You might know him as a member of the community, but he recently was hired as a researcher for the channel and has been very, very pivotal for certain videos like the All Bugs run and stuff like that, because there are lots of things that require some deep research into the bug tracker or indeed into Minecraft's history more broadly, and having that be perfectly nailed down to the date is very, very important. And so KMB has been incredible as a help for that. But you can see that the personality style. Also, look at this village. It's so insanely full. Okay, I think the best place to sleep would be right here, right in between these other villages, with that nice man watching me to make sure I'm safe. What's wild about this world is you can see it's been played for over 3,000 days, but it looks like it almost is exclusively in that village, with just two exceptions that I can see. One being a nether portal over there, it looks like it was built from a ruin portal, and the second being this, which I think is one of the funniest Minecraft builds I've ever seen. This is by far the best thing I've ever seen done. Yep, absolutely no notes about that one. If you're curious about what the portal was, by the way, the answer is I don't know. It involves lots of allies being tied to fence posts, presumably picking up parts of an ancient city, and then this, I don't know that I can give you an answer to this. I'm gonna have to ask KMB at some point, apparently. So what is this? Maybe I'll give you his response right now. Yeah, this whole thing is incredibly odd, to say the least. But in a fun way, I would say. As bizarre as it is to say, I've seen everything in the world, and I've got most of the time spare now. So we can go ahead and look around and see, like, okay, I assume this dirt being here is a holdover from the console to Bedrock conversion? But even that, I don't know. What is this? This world is filled with modern art in a way that I do find to be quite charming. This has to be something. Like, it has to be. But what is the something? What? Why? It's a mined out chunk that is then covered in copper. Why would this exist? I have a lot of questions, KMB, but I'm not going to get a lot of answers, it doesn't seem. So, yeah. Very interesting. Oh, they've got fireworks. Great news. No! Oh, God. The trapdoor makes it very hard to get out of here. There we go. Okay, this river looks artificial. I think that KMB made the river, but why? What is the river? Yeah, it's perfectly dug. It's a canal. Why is there a canal? Is it to connect them to their river? What is the You know, let's not think about it. Let's not think about it. This is quite clever. I'll give them that. Everything I look at in this world reminds me of myself a bit in the sense that it's like, oh yeah, there's a really cool thing, like, you know, this map wall that's just kind of unfinished, but then it's always better than I could have imagined because he's labeled every single map with the chunk, with the update that the, you know, map was loaded into. So this is a 1.21 chunk, while this is 1.16, while the one above it, or to the right of it, is 1.14. This is so amazingly useful if you want to have a longer term world, and it's an idea I've never considered before, but it's oh so smart. I did decide to myself, I should check the Nether just in case there's a mega build there, and although it is a very nice, you know, functional, well put together Nether, the funniest thing about it is that there's a ton of villagers here. I'm guessing they all just wander in at some point, and he's not that bothered about, wait, is this a bartering chamber? It is. But yeah, I'm guessing they all just wander in, and he's like, well, I guess we have to do something about that, and I love it. Also, no soul speed on the boots. Terrible. Anyway, yeah, this is beyond fascinating on a lot of levels. This is, I think it's very interesting to see the difference in Nethers between 3,000 days and 7,000 days. So, overall, nice. Oh, I forgot to even mention, you can see the text up here is yellow. He did something really clever. When you load up the world, it's got these fun, you know, colored name tags in there. I didn't know you could use those in your world name, but if I remove those, just to prove a point, then it will stop being as yellow, just like, wait, what did I just do? Wait, what? It's got orange, okay. Now if I remove the yellow, no, it's still gonna stay there all the way. Okay, I'll remove the one at the very beginning, maybe? Okay, if I remove all of those letters, it will just say KMB Survival in white. Although that's boring. I wish I hadn't done that. Also, 1.3 gigabytes? I must have missed a ridiculous amount of that world. Where was it? Next up, we have AgentMindStorm's world, and this was actually started in Minecraft Xbox, which is very fitting, because the reason that AgentMindStorm is on the team, and indeed the reason you might know him, is because he worked with me on the Timeless Mashup packs. This is largely his work, I don't want to take credit from it, but it's one of the most incredible things I think that exists in the marketplace, and also he has recently started working for the add-on wing of IBX Toy Maps. If you don't know, there's some exciting announcements on that coming somewhat soon, but before we can go into any of that, let's go into this world, which was started in Minecraft Xbox One back in TU19. As I understand it, it was converted straight from Xbox One to Java, so you can see there are some quirks off the Xbox, and then you can then see some quirks of the Java, and apparently this started as a skyblock world. Oh, I don't think I need any explanation to know that this used to be skyblock, and it used to be a very, very cool skyblock by the looks of things. Honestly, yeah, very, very nice looking up here. Makes me very jealous, all things considered. It's a super interesting world with so many little interesting details, but again, they are very nicely spaced out. I think they are significantly fewer than the last couple of worlds that we've checked, but you can see despite that, there are still some very nice builds. Look at this giant tree, for example. Let's be 100% real. At some point in your Minecraft years, you have tried building a giant tree, and if you're me, it hasn't gone very well, but same with this little snow castle right here, or this, what would you even call it, build over here? There's all sorts of fun ideas. Why is there a piece of beef above a loom? What is this place? Joe the Mushroom lives here? Okay, you know, I have stumbled into someone else's lore, and I'm not gonna ask any more questions, but I am gonna see what's inside this house. Given that he's called AgentMindStorm and he's got an end portal for a face, you'd figure the end would be a dimension that he loves, and so I guess that's why he made a house out of it. What a weird house that is, though. Honestly, yeah, I've got to give huge points for creativity here. One of the hardest things to have as a human, like, you know, in the world, we kind of define, like, how do you make a beautiful Minecraft build, and we set up, like, one definition, but instead of encouraging the creativity it takes to get there, we say, yeah, the better you can make, the closer to that you can make, the better. But when you can make something that's impressive while straying really far from the norms, that's really, really nice. If you can make something like this pretty... Okay, you know, actually, I picked a bad-looking build, no offense. If you can make blackstone and basalt into an interesting build, I think this is actually a cannon, then imagine what you could do with a much more simple briefing. I think that is why creativity is important, and, you know, when people ask, like, you know, like, what is it that actually, like, inspires you, Toycat? It's when people can do interesting things with weird briefs. I think when you look at something, you should be able to tell that they had an interesting goal, and they went at it in an incredibly, even more strange way. Is this an iron golem farm? I have to imagine it is. Absolutely wild that this works, if it works. Presumably, actually wait, this is the Java version. So again, he converted it to Java. You can tell because it has a zombie and only 2 villagers, as opposed to the 20 on Bedrock. Do they really get away with only 4 bits of water there? Huh, I guess they must. Oh, I am loving this old school village. You can tell that there are some slight changes here. Oh, there! But you can, sorry, don't ignore that. But there's just something so classic about this that I just love to see, and I'm happy to see. Anyway, let's head into the Nether, shall we? Wow, look at this! This is so cool! This isn't even the main Nether, I don't think. Oh, I think we have another case of a Java player who built something incredible up here that we can see precisely 0% off because, wow. Anyway, you can't build blocks up here is my point. Because Bedrock, it's technically a bug that you can build up there. It's just a bug that is supported in every version besides the most played one. That's my favorite part about Minecraft. What do you think's at the end of this tunnel? I'm so curious to find out. Okay, a whole bunch of nothing, and then this. What would you even describe this as? Do you think they built the mud on the cliff? Or did the cliff spawn this way? And then they just removed an entire section? I genuinely do not know the answer to that question. And I don't know that I ever will. Now that we are officially 3 worlds in, we can get a feel for what things look like, and I've got to say, looking at the past 3 worlds, we have Dasha, who is very, very strong on the builds for the world, some very fun biomes, some very fun individual mega builds, if you will. We've got KMB, who very clearly has a strong penchant for, let's say, functionality and closeness, and then we've got AgentMindStorm here, who you can just smell the history on. I think that is a very interesting collection of worlds, all in one place, and I think it's kind of telling by itself that the oldest of these worlds is from TU19, which, again, doing my maths very briefly, is just over 10 years ago, but all of the worlds so far are younger than that. In my mind, every single person, especially people who work for the team, have these worlds that are just as old as mine, if not older, and so it's interesting to see, like, in the same way that when I first started making Minecraft videos, I felt like, you know, I was this new wave and that, like, everyone was older and, like, more venerated than me. I feel like there's something similar here where, like, oh, there are some incredible things being made all the time, and things that are 4 or 5 or 6 or even only 10 years old actually still have so much history to them, which I guess is a reminder that history alone doesn't keep you around. But you know what does? This absolutely fascinating pile of birch wood. Oh, it's actually a different wood in each corner. What a bizarre way to make a Minecraft build. Let's, actually, I think it's an elevator, if I had to guess. Anyway, now that we're going down, we should also go around to the next realm. So let's go now. Whoa, just like that, we're in the next world. That was definitely a very poor editing trick, but I did my best. Anyway, hello Toy Cat, I'll keep this brief. I've had this world for 7 years now, 100% survival. You've been here before in one of the very first realm reviews. I'll link it. There's been a bunch of people in this world, but now it's just me and Nico. Channel Ghast Nico, follow the signs for guidance, and or don't ask. So yeah, fun fact, this was in a realm review. I want to see that link, you know, send it. Let's make sure that's mentioned in the video somewhere. So if you want to see the progress of this world, you apparently can. I'll try to remember to leave a link to the original in the description. But yeah, with that said, check it right now. You might find it. In the meantime, though, let's grab our stuff. This is the most stocked up, I think, starting chest I've ever seen in a world. Let's grab all the things and let's get a look in. We have a time limit, so we've got to be strict. Oh, that sounded good. This world is actually the largest by file size of any I'll be going through today at 1.3 gigabytes, and also at 17,500 days, I have to imagine it's the most of any. It's actually made by GhastKing, who is someone you might recognize. They were the person who edited the majority of the videos on the short-lived ToyCat Shorts channel, which I guess is the right amount of time for that to live. It's now known as ToyCat Longs, and there's a fun new project happening there too. But recently, he's been working on a few main channel videos, and his work with the camera command has been pretty incredible, honestly, all things considered. And so this is his celebration of 10 years of this world, actually, it looks like. Wait, this wasn't... What wasn't it? I need to know. Anyway, so GhastKing has made an incredible world with a friend, a brother, I believe of his. So let's go check out what it looks like. Already you can see this is like beyond the scale of anything we've seen so far. on such a ridiculous level. Like, there's a fallen building. That's so much work to make. But it looks so good here, I've got to say. Looking into the sky, you can see this isn't like a one-off little area at spawn. This is the vibe of the entire world, and it's insane. Look at this thing. I'm guessing it's like the in construction land. It works so well, but then what's that over here? We see the main little land where, oh, what's this in the background? GhastKing survival world. This is nuts, and you can see the, I guess, the artistic and attention to detail stuff. That is some of the reasons why I think GhastKing makes such a great shorts editor, and indeed for some of the longer videos too. This is absolutely wild. I just think it should go without saying, but I'll say it anyway. It's interesting that those lamps were temporarily on, and then as we get closer they turn off. I'm guessing it's like a Minecraft bug. But anyway, looking around this town, you can see there's like 2-lane roads, and there's 4-lane roads, and there's highway overpasses, and there's a Netflix building? With, wait, Nintendo, I guess, because it has a Triforce on the side. This is so cool as a world. This feels like the sort of thing you would download as a giant creative world that takes someone years to make, but this is a pure survival project just done at insane scale to make the spawn area as pretty and as amazing as it can be. This is the sort of thing where I'm like, man, I don't think I can do this justice. I think I need to look around this, but also I think it's, maybe see, it's a little bit in progress here. It's the sort of world I feel like I have to look around in for hours to get a real feel for all the nice bits of it. But I guess that's the limitation of this series, isn't it? Ultimately, we can only view a world so much. Wait, Nintendo Pokemon Company? Because, you know, it's got the little Pokeballs on there. You know, don't sue me, Nintendo. It's not my build. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay, it's definitely Nintendo. Definitely, please, seriously, don't sue me, Nintendo. I can't deal with it. Nintendo store based off the one in New York. Oh, so there's actually signs to let me know what these things are. Small custom cave, don't get stuck. You know, I kind of want to get stuck. So this cave was made from scratch, which, you know, to be fair, could have fooled me. Oh, wait, I can see how I would get stuck now. I'm going to try not to do that. Ouch. As you can see, this is the Nether Hub. There's a random Strider hanging out in the naughty zone, and then the rest of this is... What is that meant to be, actually? But the rest of this is very interesting. It's interestingly segmented, where basically each direction goes to multiple places. So in this place, the mansion and the mining desert are both found, but also we could go a different direction to the Red Hub, where again, things are color-coded to make sure you know that that's how you find all of these things. Or you could take this as the new Rupidine subway hub. I'm guessing Rupidine is the name of the city. And so, oh, you can see, whoa, this is so cool. We turned it into a museum too. So you can see the different iterations of it. So this is the map of the different towns or the different places, I guess. I guess there's one city, one little village. This is such a cool way to do it. This is nuts. Like, this is beyond crazy if you ask me. But yeah, that means I have to follow the purple line, which is off the red line, to get to the end. And I kind of want to go do that. Even though I think this is amazing. Look at this. It's crazy. I think it's amazing. I need to go follow my heart into the red line. Oh, it's minecarts. Minecarts on ice, which is unexpected. And so this way is the end portal. Let's see what he's done over there. Oh my god, this literally featured in one of my builds you shouldn't make in survival video. It's one of the coolest ideas I've always wanted to do, but I just thought to myself, nah, that's too crazy. I can't possibly do that. But apparently, GhastKing looked at it and went, actually, I think I could. So let's see what's in the end. Oh, what the... There's a horse in here. Okay, so you've seen the overworld. You've seen the Nether. And now that we're in the end, you better get ready for what might be the best dimension yet. I'm just kidding. The end has a few blocks of cobblestone and deep slate. And indeed, they've slightly mined one of these cobblestone pillars, or obsidian pillars rather. And then we have water everywhere, which it almost looks like it's a bug. Maybe it is. Or maybe they're trying to flood the end. Not actually the worst idea in the world if you want to remove Enderman. Anyway, absolute insanity in a different way. I can't believe what I'm looking at. And it's going to be... Also, wow. Silent Stream, but with quartz. I don't think I've seen it this way before. It looks really, really good. Anyway, I think the end conclusion here is that this has been the most shocking world I've seen so far. And again, it's like a reminder that everyone plays Minecraft so differently. And some people really have this, like, this mind that is aimed directly on design. And some people are me. Like, what is this end? I guess this is proof they play in survival. But, like, by the time you get to the end, surely you'd mostly be using an elytra. Why would you be using your planks to get over here? It must be old, I don't know. Okay, this has been a phenomenal 20 minutes. But it's time to move on to the next world. Okay, I did say I was done, but while I was recording a little bit of gameplay of me flying around to use for background shots, I found this, and I thought this was just the most charming thing. It says, "You've been here before," and I forget why, but it was colonized by the US and Irish and trans people, which, apparently a thing. And they say, "This was built by IBX Toycat, a big YouTuber on 6/7/18. Thank you, IBX Toycat." I thought that was so nice. Like, what a nice little reminder that at some point he was just watching the videos and sent one of his realms in. And now he's managed to work for the channel. It's kind of cool to me that we can find people like that. Because I think that is one of the biggest struggles in working on YouTube, is finding people who understand what you do to help you with it in the best way. Like, you can't just have blind editing. You need to have people who get the soul and the spirit of the channel. And I love that GhastKing apparently is someone who really gets that. So thank you, man. I thought this was really nice. Thank you for making it into a monument. I think that's nice. Next up, we have the realm of Ash, who joined the channel in the last few years and has been an editor alongside Harrison, so you might have seen him on some of the big projects, especially the video essays and nowadays the Q&As. So interestingly, Ash's area of the realm has a guided tour, and he really wanted me to read this. He put it in the main slot of the thing, and it says, "Read before you before I film." Give me a second. The next day. Okay, just in case I wasn't meant to share that book, let me share with you the spawn area. This is a very nice Minecraft house, but as he says, it is actually disconnected from everything else in the world. And so what do we have to do? Go towards the next build via the Nether. It's a classic on Realm Review. Honestly, some people build really far away from spawn, which does make some sense. It just makes visiting the world a little tricky. So let's go to a giant Rubik's Cube, which appears to be some form of base. You can see in front of it, there's a political compass, or maybe a Microsoft logo. I think it's a political compass with a pickaxe on it, reminding us that regardless of what our political beliefs are, we all should share, we should all share the opinion that we should all be locked up in the gulag one day, like this guy is. And again, let's all get back in the mines, am I right? As a child, I yearned for the mines.
As a child, I yearned for the mines.
And as a politically informed adult, all I want to do is send my peers there. I'm just saying, you play TikTok out loud on the train one more time, I think you should end up there. But yeah, as you can see, there's also a lot of interesting things here, like Glarus. Oh, and actually, it looks like there's a place to bone meal all of the flowers, so this is where all of the dyes and stuff are kept. Very, very nice. And a Rubik's Cube is a very logical place to put it. In my opinion, though, this is a crazy opinion, and you can shoot me for this. I feel like the Rubik's Cube might have looked better unfinished. Because if you look at this from one side, it's just a big red blob. But yeah, you can tell me if you think I'm wrong on that. You silly bitch. The rest of the world is very interestingly laid out, though, because it is very flat, but then has big builds in what I think are very appropriate space places. I think it's very, very cool when you get a world that gets to this level of flatness, and although personally I think keeping some hills for the distance is not just fine, but probably important, you can see there are some real nice builds here or there, which actually represent what, in my opinion, are attainable. However, attainable sadly does mean it's probably going to downscore for some of these builds, because this is nice, but it is also a little, you know, if I had to use the word, it's kind of, you know, like very coded to a certain era of YouTube, right? I would say Minecraft console, the up at the end of that era is when people were building like this, and I think it's perfectly fine to build what you want when you want. But I also think it's hugely interesting to see stuff like this. Oh, this is so cool. Okay, this cancels it all out. I love that they have, I love that Ash has built this. The horse tester is such an undervalued piece of redstone, and so having these big jump height testers too, super, super, super cool. I'm gonna fly around looking for a bed, but for now you can just say, yeah, they have clearly gone around collecting a ton of everything, and I kind of love that, actually. But let's see if there's maybe a bed in here. Oh. What is this? Oh, it's the enchanting room. Super cool. Oh, this is also very cool. The ring inside the ring. Nice. Oh, actually, I think it's going to be spheres. Judging by this? No. Maybe, actually. What do you reckon, Internet? Is Ash trying to build a giant sphere right now and has started with the easy faces first? I don't actually know. So there are two other things that Ash said I couldn't leave his world without checking out. One of these was the villager barn / hotel. And you know it's a classy hotel when it can also be described as a barn. Yep, these guys are definitely enjoying their life to very good extents. But, you know, real impressive to actually go ahead and get all of these, villagers put here in a nice place. I like that they're semi-free roam villagers. They do have a little space each, so, you know, it's, barn / hotel is accurate. There's even a second hotel where presumably the standards are even better. Oh no, there's no villagers living here. The better standard housing is actually for the animals. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's how we view villagers. He also said I had to check out the ice boat racing track, and honestly, I love this. You can see how much terraforming must have gone into this, but I need to know how fun is it to actually race a boat on. So let's go find out. Can I? Oh no, my controller. Oh, I hate that bug. Okay, I've switched to keyboard and mouse. Let's see if... Oh, this is... I have to do it in the other direction, apparently. Let's see how this one goes for me. So my plan is to get round in one lap without having to go too slow. And so that's what we're doing right now. As you can see, there's a tight turn here. I actually kind of like this. This is wide enough to actually feel like racing and not just a pathway somewhere. And oh yeah, it feels like you're doing some things. There's probably some value to this of like, if you are building a pathway in your world, it might act... Also, I don't know if... Is there a plan? Are they... I'm guessing Ash is just hoping that one day Mojang changes the rules so you can go up ice slabs or something. Because otherwise we have to do this for now, which is not necessarily so fun. But yeah, overall, I would say this is such a cool little thing. And it's a good reminder... Every time I do realm reviews, I get a bit inspired. Looking at all of the world so far, I would say that has been true. And for this world, I'm a little bit inspired of like, you know, if I'm making an ice pathway somewhere... Maybe I should make it a bit wider, so it feels a bit more like a boat race and a fun activity, rather than like a, oh, I'm gonna go do this. Like, leave the straight path in there, sure, if you want to, but why not also make it fun? There's a reminder for all of you watching too. So this is the 6th realm, and it comes in from Cat Beanie, who many of you will recognize if you are familiar with the streams. And so Cat Beanie has been playing a lot of Minecraft on a lot of worlds, but this is one that they wanted to share with me, and it's one that I wanted to share with you because it includes the resin house. That's right, it's a resin and pale oak copy of the Toy Cat Let's Play house, which you just, immediately we're off to a strong start. I think the picture pods are an interesting detail. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've seen a pitcher pod in the midway phase growth ever. Or if I have, it was in the snapshot phase. You just kind of plant it in the ground and then come back to this. But I've now seen one in this 2,200-day-old Minecraft survival. So it'll be interesting to compare all of those days versus each other as we get to the end. But for now, let's take a peek around, shall we? First, we have a Hall of Accomplishments, which I really think is an interesting design. You can tell that it's made recently because it features a lot of pale oak and resin, and it has every armor trim and every music disc collected, as well as the spots for the ones that aren't, which is kind of cool if you ask me. Which means if we wanted to, we can put in some dodgy discs, or if we want to, we can observe the other accomplishments, like killing the dragon, getting a woodland mansion, or an efficiency gapple. Very, very, very cool things. We also have died in Oh, that's cool. It's not just accomplishments, it's also the first deaths. I like the idea of having like a place to mark down all of your deaths. I think that's actually a really, really fun idea. Anyway, though, yeah, I forget how wacky 5 is as a music disc. Let's go look around the rest of the world, shall we? First, we have something which I find to be very charming. It's a Minecraft village, but made from every single type of wood, and it's an old-style villager house, but there's still just something about this. You know, it feels very Minecraft to have this, right? Like, this is something that they almost would have done had they headed in a different direction, and I kind of find that to be just enjoyable and charming to look at. Something that is also true for this mega tree Oh boy, is it a mega tree. Okay, I've got a slight grasp of the lay of the land now, and you can see this actually is a fairly recent world, not just by all of the pale oak and the cherry and the giant frogs and stuff, but by the fact that basically all of the blocks do seem to be somewhat modern. There are some really nice old school feeling builds in here though, which is what I really like about it. Having all of the woods and all of the skulls and stuff like that, and all of the, I guess it looks like farms that you can have, just kind of mixed in with this old school aesthetic is really, really nice if you ask me. And so yeah, this world is very lovely to look at so far. What's over here? I feel like there's a space that shouldn't be here, but you know, apparently it's working. So apparently, maybe I'm wrong. Does dripstone work if you leave a space in it? Have I been lied to all these years when I believe that you have to put the cauldron right below the dripstone? Because this looks way cooler. Okay, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. At 2,000 days old, this is technically quite young for a survival world, but despite that, there are so many cool areas. Like this vault. Look at it. That make me just immediately need to know, what is the Nether like? At 2,200 days, I wouldn't blame Cat if it were just, you know, an empty basic Nether, but I need to know, and so let's go. Fortress 5k base. Let's go. Whee! Oh, it's gonna be a journey, huh? See, you know, would this be more fun if it was winding? I bet the first few times, yes. It probably would annoy you after a bit, though, huh? Wow, 5,600 blocks away from spawn, and it's actually somewhat developed here, with a stack of every single deep slate ore. Honestly, this is so charming. I love worlds that have these little details in them. And honestly, it kind of makes me want to start a brand new world when I see a world that has, you know, only this amount of time in, but has so many fun little details. And so, oh, look at this. I think this actually, fun fact, I think this stops the enchantment table from working. Yeah, you'll only get level 8 enchantments despite having all of these. So it might be tactical, but it might be a mistake. Anyway, I think might be tactical, might be a mistake is probably how I would describe making this video, because looking around people's worlds is really fun, and it seems like it should be very easy. But to try and find everything, like I have this like intense guilt inside of me saying like, but what if you missed something cool? But sadly, at some point, you've got to say, maybe that's happened. And so let's move into the next one. Did you see that? How zoomed out was I? Why was I? Anyway, we're finally here. We're on the final realm of the day, and it is one made by Sir Harrison Gray, as you can maybe already tell, with all of this love of the console edition immediately around spawn. But yeah, this is Harrison, and you might know him as perhaps the most frequent editor on this channel. I think that's actually just factually correct. And he was the second person I ever hired on this channel, the longest running person still around, and one of the people who convinced me that maybe actually having a pair of extra hands would help me out a lot. I think it goes without saying, but I wouldn't be able to do YouTube today, or at least not anywhere near the capacity that I am right now, were it not for his help, and the fact that he understands the videos and what they need, and all the sorts of fun things as much as I do, is something that has been immensely helpful over the years, and so a miniature thank you before I start tearing down the world, because let's be honest, Harrison, it looks like you've been doing this already. It looks like we started with the mini game lobby, and then destroyed most of it. I'm guessing this is like a project in progress, which I would love to shame you for, but that's also what my world is filled with. In fact, I have this exact same project in my world, except it's the old battle minigame lobby, and so it's kind of fun that I also haven't finished mine. But yeah, I think just this fountain alone is kind of striking, and indeed, there is a little book called About This World where I should read this before I go into the rest of this, apparently.
3 days later.
That was a charming story, and you can pause right now if you want to see all of the pages, but to give you a brief summary, this world was actually started and inspired by some of the big projects I did in my world, which is very, very cool to hear, and it was converted from the console over to Bedrock, but he actually regrets doing it too early, which I think is really interesting, and so this original area right here is the old console world. Apparently his base is inside one of the woodland mansions. I want to go see that immediately, so let's... In fact, wait, even better, there's a giant cactus and a giant tree. These are some of my favorite things to see. It's so... Look at the size of this thing. It's beautiful. What the fuck is this? This is the most tricked out woodland mansion I've ever seen in such a cool way. You can tell it's still a mansion despite all of this. There's a panda rolling around in front of it, and there's a giant date in front, and I love the way this is done. This is how I used to do text my thumbnails, if you don't know. You just copy it, write it in black, and move it to the side, but it looks so good. I don't know why I've never considered the same things we do for the Minecraft thumbnails. Maybe we should just do in Minecraft. It looks really, really cool, right? Oh, maybe just me. Anyway, so this is a woodland mansion, and I need to see what it looks like on the inside. If I can make it. Okay, there's buttons here. That's fine. Okay, this is incredibly hype. Biome/structure specific blocks. This is an interesting place. This is Mr. Efficiency. Oh, Harrison must have got... Okay. Did he do it? He did it. He got Efficiency 1 chest plates. Oh, it feels so good to have one of these. Anyway, underground blocks are over here. That's cool. And I'm guessing that a lot of the house is going to be storage as a result. But I want to see what else he's done with the place, because storage is interesting. This whole place is interesting, actually. You can see it's been decked out to the point of not even really being the same structure. Something that I actually love. Look at this insanity. Anyway, let's go to sleep and let's see what happens in the morning. Okay, this is a world that has been built specifically to pander to realm review. We've got a sky-height sugarcane farm with a sugarcane in front of it. We've got a giant statue of Toy Cat with a lovely path going around here. A collection of desert wells. And you know what's better than all of that combined? Yeah, that's right. Over here, you can see it. It is the Let's Play house, properly built, including the banner, which is incredible. I think it's missing a block here, but it might be that I'm missing a block here, and I don't know about that. I'll put the efficiency leather chest plate in there. But then the blue bed, perfectly placed and wonderfully placed, honestly. This is nuts. This is so cool to see. I'm amazed with what you've done here, Harrison. But I also need to see what else you've done. So, floating shipwreck? Yep, check. Copper axolotl? Yep, makes sense. Crafting table biome? Honestly, this looks so much better than the same things that I've been attempting in my world. Using the fletching tables as leaves rather than stems actually looks incredible. Big fan, big fan. Weird wall from where the console generation meets Bedrock. Yep, that's a classic. A perfectly defended Savannah village. Yeah, this is really nice too. It's even got... it's like an illager banner, but for villagers. I like that quite a lot, actually. As you can see, everything about this is wonderful, and this is one of the coolest overworlds I've seen. So what about the Nether? Okay, there's like a non-zero chance we go to the end or the Nether through this. So let's give it a try. Nope. Although that's a really good idea to make an end portal, right? Like, put it below one of these. I'm just saying, if you need an idea, now you know what you could do. Nope. Oh, it's a desert biome covered in endstone. Again, it's fun looking at some of these. You can see, like, this is a better version of something I have in my world. Like, I have an obsidian desert. It looks much better with endstone. Oh, I found a nether portal. Oh, that's so cool. It's a giant ruined nether portal. That's so cool. Again, this is a world after my own heart. I'm sorry to everyone else. Oh, wow. Look at the nether equivalent of it. This isn't a real structure, but it makes me think that it should be, huh? So yeah, interestingly enough, a lot of parallels with the Let's Play world, partially because it is a console to Bedrock convert, but you can see he spawns into a nether fortress, very lovely, and then uses red nether brick and ice to get around. This is far more efficient than the weird patchwork of systems I have in my nether, but unlike Dasha's nether, you are going to have some ghast spawning from time to time, something you definitely want to watch out for. And so, yeah, important. I've got to hand it to Harrison. Even though it's a bit intersectionalized, which actually has all sorts of downsides, it's a very, very well organized nether. And so I'm just going to take it to the stronghold, because I'm curious if he's done anything there. I feel like the end is one of the kind of forgotten dimensions for a lot of people, but for many other people, also, wow, Blackstone Temple. Very cool, very cool. Okay, so I'm going over to 45, 60, 70. 45, 70. That should be easy enough to do. There's a lot of other projects that he's done, which is very cool. But let's go there first. Wait, I went all that way in the Nether and appeared here? Yeah, this really is a sign of a legacy world. My biggest regret, knowing how Nether portals worked in Legacy, is not taking higher advantage. Because now if you try to place portals that close together on Bedrock, they'll just link to the same place. But you get that old port... Like, look at that. This is the distance I went. No, it's not. This is a different ruin portal. Oh, that's interesting. So here's something I've never seen before in a Minecraft world. Oh, no! Okay, well, I'm glad I had a totem. I'm also glad to be able to see the end spawn platform room built on the 26th of February 2021. Let's see what it looks like up the top here, huh? Oh my god! It's been frozen! I love that. That is cool. And again, as you can see, he's actually defeated the dragon all 20 times. An essential project for a Minecraft world. And honestly, I love this. I think this looks really, really good. Besides that pillar, which I'm guessing spawned sometime after for no good reason. And yeah, there is an end iceboat highway, which will continue that way. And oh, this is so cool. It's gonna... I'm guessing he built this in his world for the music video. See, again, I really love that. I love that some of the locations that you see in the videos that seem like they're just random background worlds actually tie into some very real world out there. This is so cool. I think that, I could be wrong, but I think that is the world seed for everything. And I know that I've got some serious problems if I can spot the word everything converted into a Minecraft seed, but I think this is my Minecraft seed, and so this is a perfect Minecraft world in so many ways. However, there's one issue, and it's right here. I would love to just immediately cool off the idea of, you know, comparing the realms. However, also fun. I would love to do that. However, there's one crucial issue of Harrison's world that you'll have known if you read those 24 pages earlier, and that is that it is in fact always on peaceful difficulty. He actually clarifies. Also, he built the American. I actually broke up with the American girlfriend, if you're curious. And so there was some like part of me that's like, am I meant to burn it down now? But I didn't decide to do that. And so thankfully Harrison hasn't either. Wait, let's read the sign. But yeah, American, inspired by Toy Cat. But yeah, even though I see the instinct towards peaceful, which in Harrison's case is because he doesn't like Enderman, he thinks it messes with the whole flow of Minecraft, and I actually agree. Imagine if there was a mob vote for the Enderman. I mentioned this for the Ghast recently, but it's also true for the Enderman. People would be like outraged at the idea of, oh, so it would move around our builds? Minecraft will never add natural disasters, and so why does it allow the natural disaster that already exists? Namely, I would say 3 of them, the Creeper, the Ghast, and the Enderman to exist. But I think the real answer is that they've just existed long enough, and so they're the kind of 3 OG disasters that you know to look out for. And so I feel like the answer should be, okay, well, instead of playing on peaceful, just play with mob griefing turned off. But did you know that actually disables achievements? That actually puts your world in the creative mode only option, which I think is kind of goofy. I think that easy with mob griefing turned off might be slightly easier than easy with mob griefing turned on, but I also think that there should be some balance in there. And so Minecraft, if you're looking at the idea of adding keep inventory to easy difficulty, which isn't my forte, but if that's what they're going to do, I think maybe they should consider adding mob griefing to it too, because otherwise it's a whole pain for people like Harrison to have to switch to easy every single time they want to get a blaze, even though they would probably be just as happy staying on easy or normal or hard all of the time anyway. But yeah, even though this world is on peaceful, I actually won't let it, I won't hold it against the world too much, and instead, now it's time for the comparison and review. That's right, it's finally time for the big review. I really enjoyed looking at all of these worlds today, but I did say quite some time ago at the start of this video that I was going to rank them by 5 main factors, and so let's start with the most impressive build. This is interesting because I think the overall most impressive world and the individual most impressive build don't line up in the slightest, and my favorite individual build was this one that made me say, wow, I even took a picture. Dasha is definitely going to have to get a 10 therefore, and then we'll award the rest of the points accordingly. Then looking at quality of spawn, I think it goes without saying that this is one of the first things we worked out for a world. KMB sadly has the worst spawn. It's very, very nice and cozy if you're used to it, but I didn't love it, so I'm going to give him a 2 for this rating. And then at the very best, I think I'm going to have to say Dasha again, because the glass platform in the middle of the air, allowing you to see the entire world, is just such a cool way to spawn into it. I did love the way that GhastKing spawn looked, but it was slightly unpolished, and indeed, Harrison had this wonderful idea for a spawn that just wasn't quite finished, which is why he's in third. Next, we have a bit more of a objective measure. Unlike my feelings and my vibes based on playing a world, there is an objective number of days played, and even though it was slightly inaccurate in some cases, like, sorry, AgentMindStorm, I know this can't have been 155 days, we have to use the information that we're given, and so AgentMindStorm's at the bottom for this, and then accordingly, ascending upwards, we have at the very top here, GhastKing, which is absolutely incredible, to say the least. So that is, I mean, 17,000 days, partially played with someone else else, sure, but that's a ludicrous number to play in survival, especially over such a short period of time. And again, we saw the earliest version of the realm many years ago. It's crazy what happened in that time. Speaking of that time, let's now go into quality overall. Super subjective measure again, but it is one which I think also has GhastKing scoring very highly. I did really like Kat's, Harrison's, and KMB's world, and I thought that Dasha also had a pretty solid showing here, but GhastKing's world was objectively, in any terms of quality, head and shoulders above the rest. It looked like a creative world, but made in survival, but that's also why when we come around to uniqueness, I'm gonna have to award it just a 6. It is a unique world in terms of all the different stores put into it, but it's not unique in an overall sense of the word. The only way that it's unique is that it's something insane and incredible and massive that looks like it was made over a huge amount of time in creative, but then done even more impressively in survival. That would be a high score on impressiveness, but on uniqueness, I think if you look at Harrison's world with the ludicrous things we saw, some of those builds are ugly, but also that's what makes them beautiful, you know? Just like you watching this video. But more seriously, I think that is why I'm going to award Harrison top marks here, and why I have to give KMB some huge points for this Jeb marker. I think that any objective quality measure or impressive build doesn't capture just how cool this world was in its own unique little way. And again, having a village be your spawn and your storage and everything else is such an insane way to do a world that I absolutely loved, and why he is going to score second alongside Kat here. And so now it's time to tally up all of the totals and to say that the grand winner of the entire contest, the winner and the person I'm going to have to contact about this, is going to be GhastKing. Yeah, I really am amazed. Honestly, the fact that GhastKing ever managed to work for the channel is a really weird set of coincidences. He has done some incredible work on the channel creatively, and so the fact that he does some incredible work in his spare time creatively totally matches too. We actually went and found the original Realm review from all those years ago, and the progress that was made in that time is absolutely insane. I think that it is amazing also to see, though, that over such a short period of time, Dasha has created such a world, and honestly, I don't think there was a single world I looked at where I was like, this is something bad, this is something that says something negative about you, which is not the same can be said for random people's Minecraft worlds. I think we have a solid collection of survival players, and I love that that is absolutely true, that the team here at IBX Toycat Enterprises LLC, that's not how you describe companies in the UK, and also we don't do any enterprising. We're not a car rental agency. But the important thing here is to say that after all of this, we clearly have a bunch of people who are dedicated to the long-term survival world Minecraft experience, and hopefully seeing this video has convinced you of that when it comes to my long-term survival projects that you'll see in videos. You know, when you see things to do in your survival world, you know the people who are working on it are actually having that in mind. Or when you see a add-on that we release, it is made with actual long-term survival worlds in mind, you know, ones you can actually apply to a world and not just play for 2 minutes to have fun, but actually go a lot deeper into. Hopefully you know that that is at the heart of what we do, and even as I've had to start hiring people, and that's a whole skill set I never thought I'd pick up when I first started making YouTube videos all those years ago, I've realized that we have an incredibly talented team here, and I'm very grateful to all of them. Thank you very much for all of the help that you do, and also thank you to all of you for watching this. This has been an incredible community we've built up over the last few years here, and thank you for making it possible for me to have found any of these people. Anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!